very heartiest welcome to all of you. Hi, I'm Tanveer from Students Team for Alumni Relations. From seminars to webinars, the Star Journey is yet to have another stop at podcasts. Yes, you heard it right. We are back with a new series, Rewired, Redefine the Possible, to be available on YouTube, where you get to know people who made their mark by doing something different. So today we have with us is Ms. Palkin Gupta from 2020 batch of Mechanical. Hi Palkin ji.
Hello. Hi everyone. I am Palkin Gupta. I basically belong to Meerut, Uttar Pradesh, and I did my schooling from here only, St. Thomas's English Medium School, which is an ICSE board school. So during my 10th class, I discovered my interest for computers initially, and that led me to take non-medical in my plus one and plus two classes. So plus one and plus two were fun, and I discovered that besides computer, I was interested in knowing the mechanisms and know-how of various machines that I came across during those days, like how refrigerator worked, how washing machine worked. All that amused me, and I was somewhere inspired by my father, who is a civil engineer, and that all motivated me to pursue engineering further. So I worked hard for JEE and landed up in UIT, Punjab University. So there I met a lot of people. I made good friends. The 4-year journey was super fun with interacting with seniors, wonderful juniors, so many trips and all. So during my 4 years journey at UIT Mechanical Engineering, I was a part of Baha SAE. I was a part of go-kart team as well, in which we made all-terrain vehicles and go-karts and presented them at various national level competitions. So we succeeded to some extent in that, not fully, but to some extent, we sure exceeded. We were in top 10 at Go-Kart Vizag 2018. And then I eventually joined DIC. So I was very much fascinated by my mother, who is a professor. So I wanted to pursue a PhD. So she inspired me to do PhD. That is why I joined DIC, because many of my seniors and faculty members mentioned that DIC is a good platform to explore your research areas. So I joined that, and under the mentorship of Prashant sir and Mamta ma'am, I did various projects, and eventually I landed up with a project in materials. So that is how I transformed from mechanical to a subdomain of that, which is materials engineering. And ultimately, I applied for a PhD program at various IITs in material science only, and got an offer from IIT Kanpur. So that was my story from my school to IIT Kanpur.
So we have some questions planned for you. So the first one I'll shoot right away. When did you make your mind that you want to pursue engineering and the things which attracted you towards it? You told us previously that okay, in school and all washing machines, but all of us are like जब छोटे होते हैं किसी को operation कर दिया है. Was it something kind of like that? Could you just elaborate it more?
Since my childhood, I saw my father. He is a civil engineer. So seeing him, and during that time when he did engineering, he has some mechanical knowledge as well. So he used to share all those things with me, his college life, his engineering life, and all the things related to engineering, like how they work, what happens in engineering, how a civil engineer is, and how his friends, those were in mechanical engineering, were. So that caught me, that just caught my sight, and that was really motivating for me to join engineering right after my plus two. So basically, my inspiration was my father for engineering.
Yeah. So another one I have for you is, so you are going to pursue PhD just after your undergraduation. I want to know
Yeah.
what led you there and what motivated you towards it.
As I mentioned, I wanted to pursue a PhD, and I knew that since I joined engineering at UIT. So for that, I kept on searching, and from some sources and from some seniors and faculties, I came to know that there is a program named as Direct PhD. So usually, not many people know about it. The basic trend is to go for MTech and then for PhD. So I searched for it, and then it was like they have some criteria. To get a direct PhD is harder than a regular PhD because you have to maintain a higher CGPA, and somewhere you have to stand out of the crowd, because all undergraduates have kind of same experience. Like, okay, some are doing projects and all, but that are not that don't match up to that level of MTech students, right? Like we have in our batch also, or in your batch also, you can see that there are students, but they do projects and all, but that doesn't match up to the MTech level. So after I joined DIC and I involved myself in projects, I could somewhere get that the project I was doing was somewhere equivalent to that of an MTech, not equal to, but not very less than. That made me stand out in the crowd for that. And so directly applied and luckily got call from various institutes as well.
Somehow you have broken away the chain. Like people go from MTech, undergraduation, MTech, then PhD. So does it feel special getting to do your PhD, or are you scared?
It's kind of a mixed feeling. I am obviously feeling special because not many people get this chance to save 2 years of life doing MTech and maybe a drop year as well. But I'm also scared because somewhere I'll be competing with people that are more mature than me, that are older than me, those who have come after MTech. Obviously, they'll be having more of experience than me. So that scares me as well, but I feel special as well.
We have best of the hopes from you, somebody from UIT shooting up right to the stars. It's kind of special. So can you tell us about the process of applying, giving statement of purpose or purpose building, and importance of CV there? Because we don't have a much clear idea about it.
Yeah. See, for any postgraduate program, the first and foremost step is the GATE examination for engineers. Like they take through other exams as well for IIT JAM for, I guess, biomedical sciences or biochemistry, biophysics people or that. But for engineers, it is GATE. So you need to prepare really well for GATE because GATE is like application of concepts. They don't ask this right away the theory questions, tick the right option. Uh, they ask like proper numericals and conceptual questions. So you really need to be thorough with your concepts. I didn't score very well in GATE. It was a decent score. So then what happens? Then you need to apply individually to every institute. Every institute opens the portal for a specific time period of 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks. This time it was longer due to COVID-19. So you need to specifically apply, and to each IIT Guwahati will open a separate portal. IIT Bombay will open separate portal. Each institute opens separate portals. Then in that you can always choose specialization. That like for mechanical, there are sub branches. There are manufacturing, design, thermal, uh, like that, fluid. Then all mechanical engineers can obviously apply in aerospace as well and in material science as well. Okay, aerospace also has subdomains. So depending on your branch, you can apply in other branches as well, like how much relevant it is to you. And there are interdisciplinary branches as well that go very well with the low scores. Like you obviously need to clear the GATE examination, but low scores will also get you the call. Then after you apply, they ask for SOP from PhD students specifically. So statement of purpose is various guides are available on the net. I used one of them and some mentorship from coaching that I took. So it is like you need to mention what interests you in engineering, and it should not be general. It should be institute specific, project specific, and like professor specific. You need to go through the institute website, what kind of projects they have, what all teachers what teachers have as projects in them, and then you need to choose and justify like why you fit in that particular project or why you fit in that particular domain of their institute. Like in mechanical, say for manufacturing only, they have 10 to 12 faculties and each doing different work, so you need to justify where you stand and where you fit. And you ask for CV. Nobody asked me for CV until and unless I'm choosing a supervisor right off now. So I need to send them a CV right now. So I don't know what process they will be adopting to select for that, as that process isn't completed as of yet. Previously, they never asked for CV, and yes, CGPA is important for direct PhD. For mechanical, in majority of the institutes, it was 8 plus, and for different branches, it is different. So that is the process of applying. Then after you apply, there are various shortlisting criteria that shortlist, and then there is a two-stage process. First stage is the written test. After they shortlist you, they call you for a written test. They have their own written test. It may be objective, it may be subjective, or it may be just an interview, first level interview. And then if you qualify that as well, then you are called for final interview. And in that they dig deep into your projects, what you did in your engineering, what all projects you did, and your basic technical knowledge. So it is really important to focus on the basics of each and every concept that you go through in your engineering to clear that interview. So after the interview is over, if it goes well, then you are selected.
You're making it sound really easy, but I don't think so. It's such easy. So,
So getting shortlisted is really like first step is maintain CGPA and a good gate score.
yeah, I hope God help us in that now.
See, for
And
MTech, you need higher gate score comparatively. And for PhD, a comparative low gate score is also going to help you, because not much students go for PhD directly. But for MTech, they have CGPA relaxation. Like if you have 6.5 or 7 in MTech, then okay, then you can be shortlisted. But for BTech students in PhD, they need 8 plus. There is one scheme by the government of India named as PMRF, Prime Minister Research Fellowship, that is given to the undergraduates and the graduates as well. So in that scheme, you need usually it is 750 plus gate score, but this year it was relaxed to 650 plus. In that you get 70 to 80,000 per month as scholarship, and it is a really good project, and it gives plenty of opportunities, and it is out 2 times a year. So if anyone wants to grab this opportunities, and so you really need to work hard and get at least 750 plus gate score.
so, could you tell us about the difficulties you faced in the process, the stress it had on you because being in the final year, and then there are placement drives over the year also, and then you have got PhD. Could you just tell us about the stress and how you faced everything?
Yeah, to manage stress is the key. Really, I've faced a lot of stress in the process, but I coped up because of my friends and my family. They motivated me all the way along. My friends were really great, and my family is more great than them. They all supported me. So during the process, I initially took coaching from Chandigarh only, but then I honestly I couldn't cope up with it, so I left it midway and started preparing by myself. I did self study. I took coaching for 1 year, starting in third year, and then I quit it in fourth at the starting of fourth year. Then I thought of start sitting for placements as well. I sat in, I guess, initial one company, that Honeywell, I guess it was. I don't remember even exactly. But then I made up my mind that no, sitting in placement drives will deviate me, and I made a firm decision that okay, study only for GATE, no need to sit for placement drives. And then I continued with my GATE preparation. So to cope up with the project life, like the life at DIC, the college life, and the coaching was really very difficult for me. So I opted for my project life to maintain to stand out in the crowd, because coaching is everyone going through. So, but DIC was something important in my life, so I chose that over coaching because leaving college life was not an option anyway. So that was my story. That was the difficulties. Basically, the balance that I needed to maintain the three things I lost in between. So I dropped one and continued with the two.
Yeah, it's easier if it's less cluttered. You can easily
Yeah.
focus on things.
And then
So,
I could get time for self study, and that was more important than the
yeah.
coaching study.
So, did the time include movies and fun also, or was it just restricted to self-study and projects?
It included fun also. We had fun in
Yeah,
the hostel, we had fun with friends, we had road trips also. We had great fun.
yeah. So, my last question to you would be a message you would like to convey to the fellow UIT juniors.
Okay. To the fellow UIT juniors, I would like to say, firstly, and the most important, this engineering life doesn't come again, so enjoy it to the fullest. Rest things are also important, but enjoying is the key as well. Because if you don't enjoy your life, and if you take only stress and only stress, then you will land up nowhere. And second thing is, focus on the basics that are the most important, because if you are lost in basics, then you are lost in the interview. So the classroom teaching is important, where the teacher points out to the very small basic concepts behind the total entire ideologies and the entire theories. So that are really important. And maintain CGPA and enjoy life. And yeah, do something to stand out in the crowd from other undergraduates if you need direct PhD. And
Yeah,
that should be relevant to your field.
yeah. So, thank you, Palkindi. Thanks for joining us. And it has been a great pleasure talking with you. And
Thank you.
when you complete your PhD, I would like to again interview you.
Yeah,
Oh, not
sure.
me, obviously. Somebody else from the team would do so. But yes, we'd
Yeah,
love to
sure.
have you
I'll keep
here.
in touch. I'll keep in touch.
Yes.
And I would like to thank the alumni team from UIT for giving me this golden opportunity. And it was really a lovely experience. And you all people are doing great.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. So this was our first session of Rewired, and I hope you guys love it. And we'll join you with another success stories of another of our alumni. Thank you.